and welcome back to another video from my channel Highbrook Emerald Railway. Now today it's time to announce the winners of my 250 subscriber special competitions. It's very windy today and I've already had one recording ruined by a very loud and very low helicopter today, and I'm really not wanting to have to do this 3 or 4 times to get it absolutely perfect. So just apologies if you can hear the wind and the rustling of the insulation in the loft moving about with the wind. So just before we do actually reveal the results of both competitions, the competitions were, if you weren't aware of them, we were doing a competition to name the station, as you can see here, and as you can see the rules there were below, and we were also doing a competition to name the 3 main running lines as well. So as you saw on the first one, we only had, we had 6 entries for this one, so that was really good. I wasn't expecting many above 2 or 3, so we got lots of entries on this one, so thank you very much to everyone who took part in the competition and actually took time to enter their details into the form, so thank you very much. So we did have 6 responses, and we will go through each response individually on both forms before I reveal the winner. And on the 3 main running lines form, we had 2 responses. Now, I will tell you a little bit about this form, a little bit more than what I've said in the instructions here. But I didn't expect this one to have many more responses, just because it is very difficult to think up of, you know, if you already had to think a little bit to think of a name for the station, and then you've got to think of 3 more names and also keep them to a theme and keep them, you know, relatively sensible, then, you know, it's going to be quite difficult to do that. So I can understand why this one has only got 2 responses. So we'll start off with the 3 main running lines one, simply because it's got fewer responses. So once again, thank you to everyone who entered this competition. Very nice to see. We had 8 responses overall, so that's very good. I was thinking about extending it, but then I realised people are probably sick of hearing me mention it now, and 250 subscribers is already 37 subscribers away now, so I really didn't want to milk the celebration any longer. So starting off over here, we will go over to responses, we will go individual. So the first person who submitted names is Jaden from On the Main Line, so thank you very much, Jaden. So these were his responses. Obviously there is his YouTube channel link there if you want to go on that. I will leave everyone's YouTube channel link down in the description. Obviously the people who don't have YouTube channels, I can't link there, but the ones that people who do have YouTube channels, I will I will link them down below. So Jaden from On the Main Line proposed that the 2nd radius main running line would be called the Highbrook Bypass Line. He said that the 3rd radius main running line should be called the Brambleback Line, if I could put my teeth in. And he said the 4th radius main running line should be the Highbrook Loop Line. So thank you very much for your responses, Jaden. As I said, I will give you a little bit more information about this form and the naming of it later, but thank you very much for your response, Jaden. And moving on to the second response now. This is my friend Will, who his channel name is WillXMC, and he didn't put his URL in because his channel doesn't put many videos on it. In fact, I think there's only one. So Will, being the joker he is, proposed that the 2nd radius main running line should be Clarkson's Line. He said that the 3rd radius main running line should be called Hammond's Line, and that the 4th radius main running line should be called the Mains Line. I'm surprised, Will, you didn't take the opportunity there to put Hammond as the smallest one, the 2nd radius line. I'm surprised you didn't use the opportunity to make the joke that Hammond is really small. But anyway, thank you for your response, Will. Obviously not quite sticking to the themes there, which is why I'm not going to be picking yours for the answers, but thank you very much for my couple of seconds laugh there when I opened up this form and read your responses. So that was the Name the 3 Main Running Lines competition, and thank you to everyone, Jaden and Will, who entered that. So we will move over to the Naming the Station competition. 6 responses this time, so once we've gone through all 6 here, I will reveal the names. So the first entry was Jason from Barnabas Junction. Thank you very much, Jason. Again, all YouTube channels, all people that have YouTube channels linked down below. And Jason's entry, he said that the station name for my station should be Yorkdale Parkway. Thank you very much for your entry, Jason. Moving on to the next response. The next response was, again, Jaden from On the Main Line, so thank you very much for entering both, Jaden. Again, channel link down in the description. And Jaden's name for my station, he said it should be either Highbrook North or South, so Highbrook North or Highbrook South. And he also put in a second one and said Highbrook Downs. So thank you very much for your entry, Jaden, much appreciated. Moving on to response 3, this is from Duncan Watson. Thank you very much, Duncan. He said that my proposed station name should be Highbrook Dale. Thank you very much for your response once again, Duncan. Moving on to the fourth response, this one is from Lewis Cartwright. Thank you very much for taking the time to enter, Lewis. And Lewis said that his station name, or my station name, sorry, he said that my station name, suggested station name, should be simply called Highbrook End. So keeping it simple there, Lewis, and of course that makes a lot of sense. Thanks very much, Lewis, for your entry. Moving on to response 5. This is from the YouTube channel Scoobit2142, so thank you very much, Scooby, for joining, for entering even, and you've said that my station name should be called Highbrook Mills. Thank you very much for once again entering there, Scooby, much appreciated. And finally, but last but not least, the last response, number 6, is from Transport and More. Pete, thank you very much for submitting an entry, much appreciated. And you have said that my form... can't speak, put my teeth in once again. You have proposed that my station name should be called Brookend Station. So thank you very much, Pete. Thank you for submitting an entry. So now we will go on to the grand reveal, and I shall reveal first of all what the names are for the 3 main running lines competition, and I need a little bit of information given to you before I do that. And then once I've named those 3 lines and given you the winner, I will then go on to the naming the station competition, and I will give you the winning entry for this. So thank you all for entering, and here are the results. So then, as I said, a little bit of a notice about the 3 main running lines. Now, some very, very good entries were submitted. Well, I say very good entries. I mean, 1 entry from Jaden, and obviously the other slightly jokey one from Will. So the entries, well, there's 1 sensible entry, as I say, that was good, were obviously very good, and I did enjoy thinking of the names and trying to think of a little bit of a logic behind them. And, yep, all of them, well, as I keep saying, all of them, 1 of them kept to the common theme and followed my instructions very well. So I am sort of speaking to Jaden on the main line now. So Jaden, it was that your good entry, it wasn't that your entry was bad or I didn't like it or anything like that. It's just that this competition was really just a bonus competition to see if anyone could suggest any better names than the one I had already come up with. So I'm not saying that your names were bad or awful or I didn't like them. It's just that I was being a little bit naughty and sort of had already pre-decided the actual names for my lines, and this was just a bit of a test competition, a bonus competition, just to see if anyone could come up with the better names. And obviously the bonus competition, obviously, as I said, it got less entries because, you know, people didn't think it was the main one, and I didn't want it to be the main one. So it's not that your name was bad, Jaden, from on the main line. It's simply just that I've already decided the ones, really. And yeah, not saying your name was bad, but no offence, but I do kind of like my names better. So here we go. Here are the results and what I will be referring to my 3 main running lines as from now on. So hopefully these will be the last few times I'm saying 4th radius line, 3rd radius line and 2nd radius line, and the 3 main running lines. So the winner for the 4th radius line is, drumroll please... Actually, correction, the name for the 4th radius line, because technically I'm the winner because I've picked the name. But here we go, drumroll for the 4th radius line name. And I have decided to name the 4th radius line the Gresley line. Obviously, as you know, Sir Nigel Gresley is probably one of the most well-known locomotive designers in the world, and he's made some of the best and some of the most powerful engines. So I've named my line, that is the 4th radius line, that has the heaviest and the fastest trains that will be on it after Sir Nigel Gresley. So the 4th radius running line is now going to be known as the Gresley line. Moving on to the 3rd radius then, a drum roll please before the reveal of the name for the 3rd radius line. Drum roll please. The 3rd radius line is now going to be called the Riddles line. So Robert Arthur Riddles, or R.A. Riddles as his name is sometimes abbreviated to, designed my most favourite steam locomotive ever. That is the British Railways Standard Class 4 MT 460. As I always have to say, the one with the tender, not the tank engine one, to avoid confusion. I've named the 3rd radius line after him, as I had already decided on the 2nd radius line and the 4th radius line at this point. So the name for the 3rd radius line is now going to be known as the Riddles line. And then finally, last but not least, the second radius line will now be called, drumroll please, the Stevenson line. Robert Louis Stevenson, which is where Stevenson comes from. I've chose to use the last names because it's slightly more formal rather than me calling them more Big Nigel's line or Big Robert's line, so I am using last names. So Robert Louis Stevenson was, apart from Richard Trevithick's locomotion, which was driven by gears, so arguably wasn't as close to a steam locomotive as the ones we have today, apart from Oliver Bulleid's specifics, but let's not get into that. So Stevenson's rocket is where the proper, or where I think anyway, and where obviously a lot of other people think, it's where the proper steam locomotives of today properly started from and properly started to be getting developed upon. So I have named the second radius line after him as it's the smallest, and so it represents the small beginnings of where the big steam locomotives and the most recognisable steam locomotives of today, that goes back to the small origins of rockets. So I have chosen the second radius line to be called the Stevenson line. So second radius line is now called the Stevenson line. So we will now move on to the naming of the station. So then, it's time for the main event, the one you've all come to watch this video to find out about. It is now time to name High Brecon Model Railways Station. Thank you to all people who submitted entries for the station naming competition, as well as the main running line naming competition, and as we've just found out, I did manage to think up of some cracking names, but again, thank you to everyone who did enter that. So, cannot delay it any longer. Massive extended drum roll please for the reveal of the name of High Brecon Model Railways Station. Here we go. And the winning entry is Transport and More, Pete Clark's suggestion of Brookend Station. So thank you very much, Pete, from your channel Transport and More. An absolutely cracking entry was that. Quite a lot of the entries were quite simple, which is what I was hoping for because I do like simple things. But I am very glad I opened it up to a competition because me, myself, I am not very good. Although I like simple things and I like doing things quickly and easily and, you know, not overcomplicating things, it is quite difficult for me to think of simple and effective names. So thank you to Pete Clark from his channel Transport and More for that absolutely fantastic engine. It fit the criteria perfectly, and thank you very much, Pete, for your entry. Absolutely cracking entry, and I can't thank you enough because I certainly wouldn't have been able to come up with something as simple as that. Not, you know, not saying simple is bad, but, you know, that was exactly the sort of name I was looking for. And yeah, just a really all-roundly good entry there, Pete. So thank you once again to Pete Clark from his YouTube channel Transport and More. Pete, your channel will appear at the top of the YouTube description because you are the winner, and as I've already said, other people's YouTube channels who have entered will appear also in the description, but just below yours, because I thought I'd put you at the top, Pete, because you have won. Thank you very much once again, and now just time for a little bit of a conclusion. Thank you very much once again to everyone who entered. So thank you very much everyone once again for entering. Thank you to Jaden and Will who entered for the 250 subscriber special main running line naming competition, and thank you very much to all the people who I will now read out who entered the 250 subscriber special naming the station competition. They were Barnabas Junction on the main line, Duncan Watson, Lewis Cartwright, Scooby2142, and last but definitely not the least, Pete Clark from Transport and More, who had the winning entry for naming the station. Thank you very much to Pete Clark, you were the winner of today's competition, and thank you to everyone who submitted your entries. Just to recap, the station is now called Brookend Station, as submitted by Pete Clark, and the 4th radius main running line is called the Gresley line, the 3rd radius main running line is called the Riddles line, and the 2nd radius main running line is called the Stevenson line. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you once again for pushing me up to this amazing goal of 250 subscribers. That concludes the 250 subscriber special celebrations. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.